Hello, my friends. It's good to see you here. I wasn't sure I'd make it this week. I don't know why. Something seemed sort of amiss. Maybe not in this world, but in another. Maybe I spent too long in that darkness. Or maybe I spent longer than I thought I did in that elevator, going up to the roof with... Well, we already discussed that enough last time, never mind. But something seemed off, indeed, this week too. And yet here I am. That may be one of my more human qualities. I have the habit of persevering, enduring, and continuing, even when all the odds seem to be against me. If I had to adopt any human qualities, I suppose those would be good ones to take on. I made it up to the rooftop, as I said. Maybe I've been here. Maybe I've just walked the parapets around it. I don't recall it being so empty. That's not a bad thing. In fact, it's a lovely thing. Every room I've encountered in this castle so far, for the most part, has been full of something colorful, symbolic, comforting, threatening. A personality for every room. A feeling one might catch from being in the room. A purpose one might fulfill there. We might attach positive and negative meanings or responses to these rooms. In fact, I suppose whatever the feelings, personalities, or purposes a room contains, it is only that we project these things onto space. We take a room and we fill it up with things, large and small, that make the room what we desire it to be, what we envision it to be. But at the end of the day, the room is just empty space, and you're the one inventing a life for it. Up here, there is nothing. It's just a big, flat square. A little wall around it, so one needn't worry about falling off easily. Night sky above. No stars or moon. It's just cloudy enough that the sky seems to be empty, too. This is all I want right now. I mean, truly want, anyway. Sometimes there is a part of me that would take food or gold or wine or money or whatever else, I'm sure. But that part of me is resting. I just want this. Emptiness. Once upon a time, there was you. You were free in an empty space, and inside, you were also empty space. And so you were unending. There was a voice in that darkness, though. Distinctly a voice, not a sound or a rumbling or something not human. But now that I think about it, there was also something very not human about the voice, too. As it was everywhere, all around you, and coming from inside you, too. Your head, heart, abdomen. There it was, resonating. And also just a whisper at your ear, too, somehow.
Would you like to hear a story?
And suddenly story after story after story was told to you. Stories of what you were and what you are and what you will be. Stories of the world before your eyes and what it expects of you. Stories of the nature of humans and of reality and of the mysterious things that do not exist. And I think those stories set up little rooms within you, as though you were a great hotel, a mansion, a castle, maybe even. And each room had a little purpose, and a little personality, and a little atmosphere about it. And when you needed anything from them, there they were, ready for you, serving you and your purpose. And you, yes, you, the one writing, and the one speaking, and the one listening, probably, sometimes, experience an overwhelming sense of being lost in all of these different rooms. A person can become a veritable kingdom of chaos, inner turmoil and confusion, doors and windows flying open and shut, walls moaning and groaning as though haunted by spirits who never set foot in it. Sometimes a castle just becomes haunted by fear itself. And if you will allow the metaphor to go on, and give me that our souls can be enormous haunted castles, remember that I also said that rooms are just rooms, and that their meanings, feelings, purposes are fabrications, inventions, stories that we impress on these rooms. If you are a palace full of rooms, who has designed them? Who has impressed stories inside of your haunted castle? Out here, up on this rooftop, surrounded by only that emptiness. Perhaps you can see now what I meant when I said It was a lovely thing. It seemed before that the sky was so clouded that it appeared blank, empty. I think it is just emptiness. I don't think there's anything there. Not right now, anyway. Perhaps there has only ever been one room in this castle. This one.
Would you like to hear a story?
Yes, I think I would. You are the one who is telling all the stories to yourself. Open all the doors and windows within yourself and breathe. Once upon a time, there was a little doll within me, murmuring and puttering around a giant, haunted castle. Doors would open and she'd close them. Ghosts tapped at the windows and she'd run away and hide. Spiders spun gorgeous little nests everywhere, and she couldn't keep up with the productive things. She'd try and try and try, and fail and fail and fail. And even though it seemed difficult sometimes, there was still a hand reaching into the dollhouse to keep her going, keep her moving, no matter what. Even as she cried out for it to stop, the hand kept bidding her to try, 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 go, go, go. But that hand belonged to another doll, in a bigger dollhouse, full of its own rooms and doors and ghosts and spiders too. And as that doll took out her haunting on her own little doll in her own little dollhouse, there was yet another hand controlling her. And so on, back and back, within and within and within, until one hand did not grab at its doll. It instead opened a great window that faced the east, and as the sun rose, clear, sharp, white light shone in dollhouse within dollhouse within dollhouse. And a great wind swept all the little pieces of furniture away and blew open all the little doors and windows, so that clean, clear light and air swept through each of them. In fact, some of the doors blew clean off. The same air in the greatest of the dollhouses blew through the smallest of them. And for a brief moment, it seemed there were no houses at all. Now this was ineffective exorcism for a time. Spiders and ghosts and creaky doors come back, because playing with dollhouses is just so fun sometimes. But not right now. There's just been so much clutter in so many rooms lately. I wanted to come up here. I just wish the sky wasn't so empty, that's all. Oh, look. There it is. The moon. I don't think it's supposed to be full yet. and yet it is. I also don't know if it usually sparkles, so let's put a few stars up there, too. That's lovely. Just a few more. Oh, heck, let's do even more than that if we're designing it. There might as well be plenty of stars. There. Perfect. I couldn't help myself. Just a little bit of storytelling. Just a short little story this time. Just a little one. The rooms have been awfully noisy lately. It happens easily when one feels particularly alone. The haunting grows worse. But I am not alone up here. Winged companions, some friend and some foe, at least formerly. I like to think we're past that. They are here. Characters from fictions spun and told and cherished and forgotten and rediscovered come in and out as they please. The one who sent me on this journey, the most beloved monster of them all, of course, he comes with arms full of red roses now. And finally, of course, you, in all of your very own dollhouses, too. Would you like to hear a story? Once upon a time we sat together on an empty roof, staring at a sky full of stars, with a bright and full moon. We breathed deeply together in the silence. And though the night sky was beautiful, we closed our eyes, and there again was that empty space. But we don't mind it so much when we can open our eyes any time we like and see the stars and the moon that we put up there just now. Breathing deeply in and out. In and out. In and out. Forget what I said about dollhouses. Perhaps I'm just being influenced by pop culture. Dolls are back in full swing, baby. Forget what I said about hauntings. Perhaps I'm just trying my best to keep mine at bay right now. Forget it all. Everything I've said has been impressed upon by something I made up hastily in the loving embrace of writer's block. Sometimes that's what it feels like. The loving embrace of a misguided sweetheart, trying their utmost to keep you from writing until you have something meaningful to write about. The thing that this misguided sweetheart doesn't realize is that we create our own meaning. Breathing deeply. Forget what I said. But do me a favor. Be kind and tell your castle rooms some stories of your own tonight. for I must take the time to tell some new stories to my own as well. Sweet dreams, sweet friends. Hello everyone, and thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of On a Dark, Cold Night. I wasn't sure I'd make it for this one. I had to sort out some issues with my computer, but here we are, and thank you once again for your patience, friends. This is, of course, Kristen Zaza, your writer, host, narrator, composer, podcaster, etc. And I'm grateful for your listening ears today and always. I'd like to send big thanks to all of my patrons who support the show on Patreon, and a warm welcome to my newest patron, Miss Madness. Thank you so much for supporting On a Dark, Cold Night with your pledge, Miss Madness. If you'd like to help out in a similar way, everyone who supports at $1 or more a month receives access to the complete soundtrack of the show, while those who support at the $5 or more kindred spirit level receive that, a monthly tarot reading video every full moon, and a weekly bonus quick moment meditation on Thursdays. To learn more, visit patreon.com/darkcoldnight. The bonus meditations are also available through an Apple Podcast channel subscription to the Sonar Plus channel for $3.99 a month. You can subscribe by visiting my Apple Podcast page for On a Dark Cold Night, or by searching for the Sonar Network. You can support one time only with no perks through ko-fi.com by buying me one or more metaphorical coffees at ko-fi.com/darkcoldnight, or by buying a t-shirt or hoodie at bonfire.com/on-a-dark-cold-night. I would also love if you left a rating and a review wherever you prefer to do so, like on iTunes, Facebook, Spotify, Podchaser, or wherever else you like to rate and review podcasts. You can follow me on social media over Twitter at A Dark Cold Night, Instagram at Dark Cold Night Podcast, on Facebook or YouTube at On a Dark Cold Night, or on TikTok at Kristen Zaza. And of course you can listen to my album, Favorite Little Songs from On a Dark Cold Night. It's 17 of my favorite tracks from the last 3 seasons, including all 3 versions of the theme song. You can find that on Spotify, on iTunes, or, your favorite music streaming platform. Thank you so much for being here with me for this little non-story of a story. I really appreciate it. Mustn't push too hard against chaos and emptiness. I think it's possible to find beauty and meaning in those things, if we want to. I hope you tell yourself some lovely stories tonight. Good night. This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar.